Well, hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. This is not a listing video. This is not a shipping video, a sourcing video, or any of that stuff. I'm doing another how-to video. And this right here is mainly about Nintendo Entertainment System games, or NES games. You know, we find these things at thrift stores, yard sales, and other places, and sometimes we get them and they just don't play like they should. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through taking these things apart and cleaning them up to get them to work. I have here a few games. I already have a Mario Brothers Duck Hunt that I have apart right here. I have Wheel of Fortune, Super Mario 3, and any of these in bags have instruction manuals with them also. We got a Tetris, another Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. We have an Indiana Jones and a Bugs Bunny. All of these have some sort of issue. Some of those, they won't play at all. But most of them, they will play, but like the graphics are messed up. There's some extra pixels and stuff that aren't supposed to be there, or there's pixels missing or something. But I'm going to go through what I use, and I'm going to show you how to clean a couple of them, and hopefully you will learn something. And if you do, maybe you can give the video a thumbs up. And if you like this sort of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get started. So first, we're going to talk about stuff that you need. Well, first off, you're going to need something like this, like some Q-tips. I keep quite a few of them out here in the shed. Paper towels, I keep those. You may need some Goo Gone. You may need a magic eraser, and this is mainly used for stuff like this, where you get one and it has some permanent marker on it and you need to get that off. So we'll try to go over that also, but that's pretty straightforward. You just wet it with a little bit of water and rub it off. But other things you would need, this chemical right here is called Bright Touch Metal Polish, and there's others out there that you can get, but this is like the cheapest I can find on eBay. And this right here is 1 quart, and it's a lifetime supply, I would say. I mean, you got to clean thousands of video games to use that whole thing right there. And also, we are going to need something like this right here, y'all, a toolkit. Now, you can find these all over eBay and Amazon. You're going to pay somewhere between $15 and $20 for this thing. And it has this tool mainly right here, this small one. I can't remember what size it is. I think it's like a 3.8 or something. But this is like the main tool to take these NES games apart. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this little bitty thing. Nah. But it's some very, very tiny screws, y'all. They're very hard to see. But there's 3 of those that hold this game together, and you have to have this tool to take that apart. Now, some of these games have a Torx bit screw in them, and I don't keep one of those Torx bits in here. But there's one in this kit. I don't really recommend using it though, because that's kind of an aggravating one to use, but you can use that little Torx bit right there. And also, some of them have a flat screwdriver screw, or a slotted screwdriver screw. So I just used one of these little bitty pocket screwdrivers to do that. But alright, I'm gonna set my camera up, and we're gonna go over taking these things apart and cleaning them up. I'm gonna show you how to do it to get these things working like they're supposed to. Alright, y'all, let's get started. First off, we take this right here, and we got to shake it up really good. And I've already shaken it some, but we need to shake this up really good to make sure, you know, that everything is mixed together well in there. And then we're going to just pop this open. And you can see down in there, it's just some nasty looking yellow liquid. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take and rub our Q-tip and get a little bit on our Q-tip here, not a whole lot. But we need enough. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go to these contacts right here on both sides, and we're going to rub this in there real good. First off, we're just going to cover it. And I'm going to cover both sides. And it's not going to hurt anything if you touch this circuit board. That's perfectly fine. But you may need to get just a little bit more and put on it. But you got both sides covered. Alright, now you can see that my Q-tip is already turning black. That is just nastiness, y'all, from over time that is built up on this thing. So I'm going to take and set this thing down, and I'm going to start rubbing this Q-tip on it. Not really aggressively, you're just rubbing it in. I mean, you got to put just a little bit of pressure on it, but not much. But we're going to rub this thing until it starts to shine a little bit. But what you want to see that black coming off of there. So I'm going to rub that stuff in real good. And then I'm going to go to my other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go up and down each and every one of them. And then I'm going to go across them also. That way I'm hitting a couple different angles on them. And y'all, I don't know if the camera is showing it real good, but this is cleaning up really well. And you can see that thing is really black now. Alright, so we got it rubbed in good. Should be fairly clean. Alright, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to set our Q-tip down. We're going to grab this perfectly clean paper towel. And we're just going to wipe all that off that we just put up there. You're just trying to get the bulk of that stuff off of there. And you can see how dirty that is. And I'm going to use another section of it. I'm going to get the other side off. There you go. You see how much dirt came off of that. That's not including the Q-tip. But that's how much better we're looking already. Alright. Now, we're going to take the other end of this Q-tip, the clean end, and we're going to go back across this thing. Same way we did when we were cleaning it off to begin with. And all we're doing right now is finishing the polish. We're just polishing this thing up a little. Just polishing it up a little, and do the same thing you did before, up and down, and then go side to side. And I'm going to show you this Q-tip when I'm done. Now that's just one side of it, but that looks so much better than it did before, y'all. And now we got to get this other side. We're going to use the same side of that Q-tip. We'll go side to side, up and down, just polishing it off. And you can do little circular motions, however you want to do it. I'm not saying there's 100% right or wrong way to do this, but either way, I'm just trying to get good coverage with this and get the whole thing shined up. You need all those contacts looking new again. And they're not going to be perfect, but this game should play now. Unless there's something wrong in the circuit board or one of these chips or something. But what I look for on these is I look for anywhere up here that I might see like a burned solder joint or something, like you see where it might have got hot or something like that. Normally if you see something burned, you might as well just throw this thing away. But you see how much cleaner that is right there. That should play now. And you can see that's the original side I used, and then I came back and it obviously got much better. But now we're going to take a perfectly clean brand new one, and we're going to rub it across there and see how much more we get. And y'all, Q-tips are cheap, so don't be worried about using a whole bunch of Q-tips for this. I mean, most of the time you might go through 2 Q-tips on one game. I think that's okay. You're not going to break your budget by using 2 Q-tips. But a lot of times what I'll do is I will clean one game up, and I'll throw that first Q-tip away, and then I'll take this one and I'll put some stuff on this one and start cleaning again. So I'm actually using like 1.5 Q-tips. But there you go. That one is cleaned up and should now work. So we're going to put that thing together. I'm going to set it right there on my paper towel. put my top back on this, which I should have already done, so I didn't knock it over. But now we're going to take our case here and we're going to lay it flat. And now we're going to put this back in there. Then there are some tabs on the top of this thing. There, there, and there. Some just have 2, some have 3. But what you have to do is take those tabs and slide them into the tabs on the other side of the case. And then you got it back together. Alright, then I know this seems pretty simple, y'all, but I got to go through it for you. You got 1, 2, 3 right there. And what I do is I just put my little screw in the end of it, and then I stick it over the hole and screw it in there. And y'all, you don't have to get super aggressive with these things. Just tighten them down. Don't crank them down. You don't want to crack the housing. So, there we go. One in, and I mean, it's okay to just slide it in there like that. Alright, 2. And 3. And there we go. We will test this game afterwards so I can show y'all if it's working or not. And you can see it has an X on it right there and an X on it right there. I put those there so I would know that this was a bad game. So I have to get that stuff off with a magic eraser. So I'll go ahead and knock that out. Alright, so I just keep a bottle of water out here, my magic eraser. And I'm just going to put a little bit right on that magic eraser. Yep, just a little bit. And we're going to rub this X off of here that I put on it. There we go. Now we're going to see if we can get this side off. Now I normally wouldn't do this until I make sure that the game works. But I'm going to do it just for y'all because I'm filming this. And just like that, the X is gone off of it. Now I'm going to try to get whatever these letters are that are on it. I'm going to hit that with my paper towel to get the water off of it. But you can see that only took a minute to get that stuff off, y'all. And you can see what it did to my magic eraser. There's a little bit of dirt right here, so I'm going to knock that off of it too while I'm at it. Or I'm going to attempt to. Yep, that came right off, no problem. And I also keep a toothbrush out here just to get into stuff like this. And I don't use it just on video games. I mean, we use it on all kinds of items that we buy. But just to get in those little nooks and crannies and get all that stuff out of there. I mean, you know, these things are a lot more presentable, and, you know, people are more apt to buy them when they actually look clean. So I try to clean them up best I can. And you can actually take, a little bit of Armor All. I'll show you. I don't know if it'll pick up in here. But that looks kind of dull. But when you wet it, it brightens it up a whole lot. Now, if you cover this with Armor All, this thing's going to look a whole lot better. Just a little tip. I don't really do it. I mean, it would have to be a bad looking game for me to do that. But this game's in pretty good condition. It's got a little bit of wear to it. But alright, that one is done. And we will test that one in just a minute. But first, we're going to pull another one apart, because I showed you what the inside of this one looked like. I have another Mario Duck Hunt right here I could pull apart, but no need in showing y'all two of them that are exactly the same inside. So we're going to pull apart, let's see, I won't do Indiana Jones because that's a Torx bit, and I'm not using that tool like I said. Alright, we're going to do this Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle game right here. You see this one's got just a little bit of label pull on it where it's starting to rise up a little bit. Not the most valuable game in the world, but it's worth me spending 3 or 4 minutes to clean it up. So we'll get this middle one out of here. Same tool I used on that other one. We'll just pop that out of there. And y'all, I'm doing this in real time. I'm not speeding it up or anything because I want you to see how long it takes me to actually do this one. I probably won't talk you through this one as much so I can do it quickly. But there we are, we got it apart. Now you see this game looks a lot different inside. This game has a lot going on across there. I'm not going to get into all that, but all these games don't look the same inside. So, you know, if you pull one apart and it looks a certain way, and then you pull another one apart and it looks different, don't worry about it. It's still a Nintendo game. And some of them actually have Nintendo on them somewhere, like right there. It says Nintendo right there. Here it says NES, so you know it's an actual Nintendo product. You don't have some fake game or something. But here we go. We're going to use that second Q-tip that I was using a while ago. You can see it's a little bit dirty. Get me a little bit of polish on it. And I'm going to polish this side. Get a little bit on it. And we're going to put some on the other side. And as I'm doing this, I'm also looking to see if it looks like, you know, anything got hot on this at some point or something. Just like I said before, you might see like a little capacitor or transistor or something that, like, you might see a burnt piece or something popped out of it. That would tell you that was bad. You have these little resistors down here. Those can get hot. They can pop and go bad. Or you could see some of these solder joints on the back that have gotten hot and popped loose. Those are things that can be fixed, but to me, on a $10 game, I'm not really worried about fixing something like that. I don't have that kind of time, y'all. Alright, I'm going to clean this one up just like we did that other one. Rub it in real good. Up and down, left, right. Get all of it covered. And like I said, you can see how dirty that thing's gotten. Alright, take this and wipe it off. Alright, then we're going to hit it with this clean end and see what happens. Alright, y'all, I'm guessing I'm maybe 2 minutes into cleaning this game up. Doesn't take long, and you can see, still pulling a little bit of dirt off of it, but I'm happy with that. It should work. So I'm going to take my case, I'm going to pop this back in it. Remember to line up my tabs on this thing. This one also has 3 tabs on it. And I'm going to put my screws back in it. And I'm not going to do all of these for y'all because that would be a long, boring video, I would think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one here back together, and then I'm going to hook up my my FC Twin. I don't know if y'all have heard me talk about that before, but it is a console that will play Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. And you can actually test out your Super Nintendo controllers on it because it uses a Super Nintendo controller. So if you have NES games or SNES games, you can use those. You can use the FC Twin to test those things out, and I'll show you that thing here in just a minute. Now I do have an NES system that I could use, but like most NES systems, it is finicky, so I choose not to use it all the time. But there you go, got it back together. Now we're going to test out this and Duck Hunt and see if they work. Okay y'all, here is a FC Twin. You can put NES games in the back of this. You can put SNES games in the front of it. It has a power off, a 16-bit for Super NES games, and an 8-bit for NES games. And like I was telling you, this is a FC Twin controller, but it's the same as a Super Nintendo controller. So you can plug your Super Nintendo controllers in here to test them. So first thing we're going to do is, this is the same Mario game I was just cleaning up for y'all. We're going to stick this thing in here, and I've got this hooked up to my trusty old Disney Princess CRT TV, and we're going to try this thing out. I'm going to flip this thing up to 8-bit, and there we go. Now, this game right here had issues with like lines across the screen right here, and sometimes like part of Hunt would be missing down here on Duck Hunt. I should have showed y'all beforehand, but I didn't, so it is what it is. But anyways, now we're going to hit start, and we're going to hit start again so we can play, and we're just going to make sure everything's working, and it is. I'm going to try to play this while I'm holding the camera. This ought to be interesting. It's been a while since I played, y'all. Anyways, you get it. It's working, right? That's all that matters. Ooh, that was bad. Alright. Pause that. Alright, now we're going to take this game out. And now this thing's snug, y'all. This thing is not like your normal Nintendo Entertainment System console. This thing right here is nice and tight. Alright, we're going to try Bugs Bunny now. That was the second one we cleaned up a while ago. This one had all kinds of issues. Sometimes it wouldn't even come on. So we're going to pop it in there and see what happens. Well, that's a good sign. Nope. Now this one here, turn that down some, y'all, that is loud. But this one here, before, I don't even think you could see Bugs Bunny on this one. But anyways, we're going to push start. We're going to make sure this thing works. Let me set this down. And I have never played this game here, so I know nothing about it. There you go. Okay. Whoop. That's pretty cool. Oh, that was pretty cool. Anyways, you get the picture. It's working. Alright, so we have successfully gotten 2 of these working. Now, see, I told y'all that thing was tight. Now, those 2 games right there do not sell for a whole lot. But if I can spend 3 to 4 minutes on each one and get it to work, I can make money. Now, let's talk about this. This right here, I think I paid for this toolkit like $17 or $18. I paid at least $25 for this right here. But like I said, this is a lifetime supply. And as long as I don't mess these tools up, they're for a lifetime also. These are cheap Q-tips. These are cheap magic erasers. Who doesn't have extra toothbrush laying around and a bottle of water, right? So, super cheap stuff to me to clean it up. But your real money is right here. That's what's going to cost you the most. But y'all, I hope you learned something today. Just something I wanted to share with you. I had all my stuff out anyways. I figured I might as well put another how-to video up because I know there's resellers out there that pass on this stuff because they don't want to clean it or they don't know how to clean them and get them going. They don't know how to test them. I mean, not everybody out there plays video games, y'all. Let's face it. But I hope y'all learned something. I hope I helped you so you can help yourself make a little bit of extra money. And maybe if you were scared to take those things apart before, just seeing what was inside of them has changed your mind. I mean, they're super easy to clean, super easy to take pictures of, super easy to ship these things, y'all, and you find them everywhere. So I will end with saying, if you find Mike Tyson's Punch-Out out there somewhere, buy it, y'all. I just sold one the other day for $60, and I just found another one 2 days ago, and I listed it this morning, and I'm expecting it to sell within a couple of days. So there are good NES games out there that sell for decent money. Most of them sell for $8 or $10 or something like that, but there are the occasional ones that sell for $60 or even $100. But keep your eye out for those. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you learned something or you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like seeing stuff like this, and click the notification bell to be notified every time I put up a new video. Thank y'all for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.